Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands we're joining from today.
I'm joining from Lisarow on the lands of the Darkinjung people.
And I am joining from the lands of the Nyungbul people of the Bundjalung Nation. We pay our respects to elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. We acknowledge their deep and ongoing connection to land, waters, language and culture, and recognise that sovereignty was never ceded. This always was and always will be Aboriginal land.
Before we jump into this episode, a quick note on why we make Femmebot. Kat and I run Crybaby Productions, a creative agency working with enterprise brands. We help marketing teams turn complex products into stories and campaigns that actually drive growth. We started Femmebot because we kept meeting incredible women leading in tech. We wanted to create a space to share their thinking and leadership. Lucy Keogh is the founder and CEO of Tap the Gap, a non-technical founder who's built and shipped a tech product from the ground up. And we're asking every guest this season the same question because everyone's figuring it out in real time. So Lucy, how are you using AI right now?
Right now, I have prepped my notes for this podcast using AI, which was great. So I have built my own custom Tap the Gap GPT. I did that at the start of my journey, put all my main documents and notes and everything, and it's kind of broken down into sections, but I use that for my content creation. I use it for ways to create, documents that I need to put into pitch decks. I'm pitching to super funds with data on it. So it's really my kind of invisible 2IC in that sense. And I love to give it a bit of heat if it's not performing. And it's funny, my German intern who is just sadly flying back to Germany today. It's a hard day. Her name's Hannah, but in German, a chat GPT is a he, like it's a masculine noun. And so she just always calls it he. She goes, so I talked to him and he says to me, and I'm like, who? Who did you talk to? Just chat.
And who's this guy that knows so much about my business?
So anyway, so now we have the running joke. I'm like, okay, let's ask him. So that's one of the main ways that I'm using that within my business. And that's just for my part. Everything that's data and part of my actual tech is obviously away and securely connected up and, not connected to any of those pieces. In the future, we're going to be using AI within the tech to essentially curate those offers for women. So our next piece of tech build is right now we've got 250 merchants in the platform. And that, it's everything from go-to skincare to, maybe it's bonds. You've got to buy your undies. You might want to put a bit of money in your super on the way while you do that. So we've got all of those, but we've also got open banking data, and that's because the Roundup product connects to open banking. So we've got all the transactions and we're using AI to create a hyper persona for these retailers. So in the way that, Claire, when you come into Tap the Gap, you're not going to see every offer. You're really just going to see what's personalized and useful for you. Because again, who's got time to look through thousands of offers on a retail site? I just go to the Iconic and sometimes I feel overwhelmed. Although I do love the Iconic. They're on our platform. Thank you. But yeah, it's really going to help make our experience better. So that's sort of a bigger. Yeah. And the retailers are really loving that aspect of it. So, there's different ways that we can do that. But in day-to-day, I think I would use it obviously for those hygiene things. So meeting notes, turning those meeting notes into insights. I use recordings while I'm walking. I sometimes think really well while I'm walking, and I wrote a news article while I was walking on my walk. So I'm just recording those and then throwing that in and, editing it a bit, and away we go. Obviously from a writing background, so I am quite picky on how it ends up sounding. So I sort of use that. And then in terms of my data analysis, so looking at the data in the back end of the tech, I use AI to kind of pull those insights out of that to go, what's a woman, a user that's of this age? How much is she rounding up? What super funds have best representation in the thing right now? So all of that stuff can happen in minutes, and I can get that information faster than I would have before.
Is there anything that you have tried and you thought AI would be really helpful with that actually no? It's better if I just
it's not like, I know it sounds like a bit of a disc. I won't name names, but there's platforms that I use every day. But then when I try and do like visual presentations or visual parts of it, it just doesn't work. Like it doesn't work for my brand tone of voice. Yeah, the visual side of it. So I am exploring a few more tools in that area, but that I think sometimes that just really doesn't work. It wigs out a lot. And look, some of that prompting I can probably get better at because the machines have a different point of view of female empowerment and what that means, you know, for the machine as opposed to what's coming out of my head. So yeah, that's stuff I'm sort of working through. And then I just think sometimes as well with AI, like I do switch between different platforms, between Chat and Claude with Gemini, and they've all got their nuance. So yeah, I use them for different things, but it's an ongoing piece, right? Hopefully we'll be using a little bit of an agentic onboarding bot to help people on board in the app moving forward. So there's little technical wins that we can have. And look, going back to my no-code days, like if I wasn't plugging in, I use it for code to be able to stress test. I used it to build my website with code, custom code in my website, not knowing how to do that. So yeah, so it's helped me do some of those basic things that I'm sure someone who's experienced in that would be able to do really well, but it's helped me upskill in that quite quickly. And I do use it as a bit of a sparring partner as well to stress test, you know, would this be a good idea for us? Why not? What are the implications for the revenue of the company? How would that help us grow? So yeah, really throwing in bigger strategic challenges as well as doing that day-to-day stuff. So,
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. Super helpful. I love the voice notes one. That's a really good tip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was shared with me from someone else, and I'm like, I just love it now. So, yeah.
Are you just recording it on voice memos and then uploading it?
Yeah, and sometimes I'll do it straight into Chat, but mostly I do voice memos, and then just uploading the transcript. Yeah, which is just easy, right?
Such a time saver.
It is a time saver. Oh, and the one that I love, sorry, this is my hack from the other week, and now I can't do without it. I'm a terrible typist. So Whisperflow, like literally you just talk and it types, and it's like so good. It's so good. I now can't do without it because I think faster than I can type, and I don't have time to go and correct myself. So yeah.
Whisperflow. Okay, that's a really good hot tip. Thank you so much, Lucy.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much for having me.
So that's it for this episode of Femmebot, the podcast powering women in tech. If you liked what you heard, hit subscribe and share.